troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hey, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. We are attempting to do away with all problems in the universe. Of course, it doesn't always help. But, man, I'll tell you what. One of the biggest things happening around the country, romance scams. They're coming in all shapes and sizes. Now, one of the most common ways they get in touch with you is first and foremost, the main one is a text to you out of nowhere, and you say, by the way, this is the wrong person. This happened to me. So I said, and I didn't know what it was at first. I always say, well, I don't have you in my contacts. I don't know who you are. And they said, oh, I'm trying to get a hold of, so-and-so. I think Mary Jane. I'm in town for a few days, blah, blah, blah. And I say, there's no Mary Jane here. Well, you must love living in this area. It's so beautiful. They try to strike up a conversation with me. And what happens is they're experts at finding out who and what you are, or they already know. And then they text back and forth and try to set up a relationship where they're going to meet you, and they're young and they're attractive. In fact, on one of these texts, the very first random text was sent. There was a picture on it of this attractive woman saying, hey, I'm in town for a few days, Mary Jane or whoever, let's make sure we go out. And so people who are lonely, I guess, or curious, they start responding to these texts, and these texts lure them in. And then eventually it somehow they get people who are willing to send them money or willing to meet them. And they never really do meet you. That's the one big area of scams. So be really careful.
And they never FaceTime.
Though they never, no, they won't do anything FaceTime, you're right. They won't Zoom or FaceTime. It is really bad, really, really bad when it comes to these romance scams.
Well, Tom, you know what I do? I've had a couple of these, and I keep them going for a couple of days, and then I say, hey, by the way, I'm really broke. Can you lend me $2,000, $1,000, whatever it is?
Oh, that's good. So
and
you turn the
away.
tables. You turn the tables, ask them
And
for
I
a
ask
loan.
them for money. Right.
That's a good one. Ask them for money.
And then they just disappear.
Now, also, people have been Googling customer service numbers. And one of the latest scams is they go to your customer service, or they go to these companies and they make fake customer service numbers. So there are scammers out there that what they're doing is they're going out to Microsoft and to Apple and for all of these different companies, Amazon, eBay, and they're making fake customer service numbers, and they show up in Google searches. So you Google customer service figuring, I'm not going to be tricked. I'm not going to hit one of those stupid links. I'm going to find the company directly and go to them. And then you think you're going to the company, and in reality, you're going to another scammer. But you think because you Googled the customer service number that it's the right number and you're not going to get hurt. And as it turns out, you call another scammer. That's what happened to this guy that lost over $1 million. He Googled customer service for this company. So he thought, well, I'm making a call to them. They must be real. They didn't call me. I called them. So the I called them scenario is not even safe anymore. So how do you know when you have the real company? One of the ways to do it is through second-party verification or second method verification. So if you contact someone, they say, I will send you, if you call them, I will send a code or something to the email associated with this address. And then in that way, you're able to verify that they know who you are, and then you verify who you are. So if you do it by phone, they send the OTP or the verification, by email. If you go by email, they send it to your cell phone. So don't, go by cell phone and have them tell you we'll text you something because they have your number to text you. That's not accurate. It must be a verification process outside of the one you're using. So if you're in email contact with them and they say we're going to send a verification code to the number on file, that's the way to do it. Or if you're on the cell phone already, then they're going to send the verification to an email you have on file. Don't ever let them send the verification to the same method you're communicating with. And again,
Hey, Tom,
my heart goes out to these people because you got to be a genius to keep from getting ripped off. Go ahead.
what if you just do companyname.com and go to their real website? Because I don't think that these scammers can change that. If you go to, let's say, you go to, Kmart.com, you're going to go to Kmart's website. There's no way that the hacker can change that, right?
Probably right. Probably.
I mean, that's a pretty. And then once you're on that site, you can look for the customer service directly.
That's true. That's true. If you know you're on the right website, that's one safety feature. But it's amazing to me how many people don't take the time to really check people out. They just don't take the time to do it. And it's mind-boggling. The millions of dollars a day being lost. So, and then we also went over the unsubscribe button and how that can be very, very, very bad. Like the unsubscribe button can be actually perilous. I mean, it can be something that gives you a bad link or gives someone access to your computer. You can literally download something without knowing it by hitting an unsubscribe button. 303-713-8255 is our number. And by the way, we've gotten a lot of complaints about people being ripped off. And what's really amazing is if you look at the areas that are of the country that are prone to ripoffs, they closely model where the economy is not doing great. By the way, if you want to know where inflation has the biggest problem, Denver is number 5 in the country. Inflation has run amok in the country, and it's mostly affecting these 5 cities. Boston is number 1. Number 1. St. Louis is number 2. This is where the inflation rates are the highest. Boston, number 1. St. Louis, number 2. Baltimore is number 3. San Diego is number 4. And Denver is number 5. Denver is really being socked by inflation. Number 5 in the entire country. And the consumer price index has increased 1% a month. And that's considered really bad. So think about this: Boston, St. Louis, Baltimore, San Diego, and Denver. We have a text here we have Bob Logan with us from Plumline Services. We've been talking about plumbing, cooling, electric, and drains. Someone wants to know about electrical system, a panel upgrade. Now, for those listening, what do you think the number one reason people are getting panel upgrades? What do you think it is, Bob, the number one reason?
Well, because the amount of electronics we use in our...
Well, electronics aren't really high in usage, but I'm talking about the number one overall, we have been putting more strain on the grid. You're right, with all the charging and all the passive electricity we used, or I say passive meaning not actively involved, but letting something sit and charge. But the number one reason people are getting upgrades are for their EV vehicles.
Because they don't have space in their panel.
Either space or they don't have the service. do most houses have 50 amp or 100 amp or 200 amp? What are the services right now?
100, 150, 200. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you had a lot of older homes have 50 amp to 100 amp service, that would be hard to have a charger on that, wouldn't it? I mean, Mark, did you look into chargers when you on your?
Yeah, we have a 60 amp.
Yeah, but that's just for your charger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've got multiple. Well, actually, we've got multiple ones, but I mean, yeah, that's for that particular circuit. That's how much it is. I mean, we've got our dryer, we've got that. Then we've got our bus in the big garage, and then we've got a hot tub, and then we have a steamer.
Right.
So
well,
we probably have.
Mark, if you added all that up, what is your actual service to the house? Is it 200 or 400 or what?
The house is, I think, 400, and then the garage is, I think they ran 300 to the garage. That's new.
I mean, that's incredible.
So you
that's
probably
a
have
big service.
Three different panels, Mark? Do you have three different panels?
I've got, well, in the house, we have one big panel, then two sub panels.
Okay.
And then in the garage, we have one panel.
See, that's incredible. And one of the big things is they calculate how much of the stuff you're going to use. They don't add up everything because they're assuming you're never going to use more than 60 to 75% of all those items at once.
Man, if we had, I'll tell you this. Let's say the cars and the bus both needed to charge all at the same time.
Right.
So 2 Teslas, then the bus. Well, the bus is on a separate circuit, so forget about that. Let's say the 2 Teslas are charging and they're down, so they're sucking up every bit they can. The hot tub's on, the steamer's on, and the dryer's on. I bet you if I turned the microwave on, I'd blow the house up.
Yeah. Anyway, the way they calculate this is they don't add everything up because, as I said, they assume.
Then the heat, and if it was winter, the heat tape on the roof, I think, is a pretty heavy duty circuit.
Oh, you have heat tape on the roof?
Yeah, we have to. That one side, I mean, the snow will literally never leave.
All right. Now, we have something, Brian Burns is not on, but they said you should have asked Brian about dogs and homeowners insurance. We just got socked with a premium, with a surcharge because they found out we had a German Shepherd. And I looked on the list, and here are what insurance companies are surcharging for lately. They are going out and surcharging people an increase in their premium for certain dogs. And it's based on some kind of law firm analysis. A group of law firms got together and did a study on personal injury and dog bites. And they've concluded, this is very controversial because people always want to argue this, that pit bulls have most incidents. Now, I know people who have hit pit bulls say they're sweethearts, and they are. But for some reason, they're still number one when it comes to incidents. And number two are shepherds. You know, and that's hard to believe too, because those are sweetheart dogs. But do you know, in 2021 to 2023, in a 2-year period, there were 61 fatalities involving pit bulls. 61. Now, this is how far back number two is from number one.
Those are all those numbers though are all actuarials. I mean, pit bulls do have more bites than any other dog.
That's right. In fact, of all dog bites, pit bulls have 27% of all dog bites. I got to take this break, but you won't believe though some of the insurance companies and what they're doing. It's almost making it cost prohibitive. Mark, they never talked to you about having a shepherd?
What shepherd? I don't have a shepherd.
Okay, I get it. We got more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything? Fire everything!
Probably just have to kill whoever it bites.
27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
I think you have to kill whoever it bites and hide the body.
Feeling...
What? I don't know how insurance works.
Limited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
And if you are looking to sell your house, I want to point out Homevestors. It's a simple phone call to find out what they'll pay for your house. Now, you've heard a lot of these places advertising, and really there is no loss in calling all of them. Homevestors is one that we endorse, and we've had really good luck with them over the years. Homevestors, 800-44-BUYER. Find out what they'll pay for your home and get a check with no questions asked, no inspections, no tire kickers, no showings, no loan approval. Just find out today. 800-44-BUYER. If you want to become a landlord and you don't want the conventional risks and hassles and you want it to go smoothly, I recommend Vestera Turnkey. Esteemed real estate broker Barry Miller has put together a plan where he goes out and identifies hot markets to buy rentals. He helps you acquire the homes at great prices. He helps you then move them into the rental market with management companies to take care of it. And then he babysits the property on when the proper time to sell is. That's VesteraTurnkey.com. He can take care of the entire situation from beginning to end. VesteraTurnkey.com. If you're interested, give them a call and find out what they can do for you. MyBiggestReturn.com. Some people have been making 30 to 80% returns. 303-888-3788. That's 303-888-3788.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I hate these news stories that have no names, nothing. In other words, I could have invented this. I hate that.
Which one?
This guy marries and brings over a woman from Guatemala and gets her a temporary green card because they get married. Then I guess she says that he's abusive and
Wants a divorce.
he goes, well, that's fine. Then I'm going to pull your green card and get you kicked out of the country. And according to CBS News, that's very possible under the Trump administration. But there's no real names.
Right.
There's no anything.
Right.
It's just leftist propaganda.
Have you come across the videos where the guy's saying, I am so afraid of ICE coming and taking my mother-in-law who is at 123 East Main Street?
Yeah, it's the best. I saw that on TikTok.
She is 5'5".
This guy is on there crying, going, oh, man, please don't take my mother-in-law who lives at 560 West Elm Street.
Oh, that's really fun.
Yeah. I know she's an illegal.
5'2", black hair, little heavy set.
Adios, madre.
Drives a 96 Ford Taurus license plate.
Great. Ford Taurus. Wow. It's a classic.
It's RoboCop's car.
There is some good, funny shit out there.
You. A glitch? You call this a glitch? RoboCop, great lines. I'd buy that for $1.
I don't think anybody saw Iran hitting Israel as hard as they have, huh?
Well, they're just throwing every bit of recycling they have.
They're doing the Battle of Britain.
Now they want to make a deal. They're well, according to CNN, now they're like, hey, we don't want to escalate any further. I think it's because they're out of fucking ammunition.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's the Battle of Britain. They're like literally throwing frying pans and pots. And
they're down to slingshots and throwing sandals. And they're like, okay, all right.
They took out, I guess, they got their state television news station, whatever you call it over there, blown up.
Shannon has
Who's
that
looking
video.
to
Did he show it to you?
Who's looking to de-escalate? Did Iran say that?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Iran's had one phone call from Trump to tell Israel to initiate a ceasefire would stop it right instantly.
Well, no, Iran's saying,
That's
hey,
what Iran
we
said.
don't want to escalate anymore.
Right, and he said if President Trump calls Israel and tells them to halt and accept the ceasefire, they will do it.
This thing is so far out of pocket now, they can't. They got to just keep going until this place is gone.
As long as we melt their uranium, we're okay.
Yeah, you can't give up at this point. I mean, all it did was really piss them off. You can't give them time to buy more shit from North Korea.
Well, you don't know how much of their, their energy program was destroyed.
Yeah, not just their nuke stuff. I mean, I think they should target the oil at some point.
Oh, then you would make them into an Afghanistan. A
Yeah.
very failed state.
All right, Tom, here you come.
K-How.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-8255. Welcome to the show. Let's get to the phones here and do whatever's on your mind. Now, here's something very interesting, Bob. Somebody here, speaking of phones, let me go to the text here. Okay, so someone wants to know, is there a such thing as a mini split for the entire unit? Do they make them big enough, or do you have to divide them up? Mini splits are units you put in exterior walls up high, and they spew heat or air, and then they have the guts of the unit outside. Do they make really big ones?
I don't think you'd want that.
The whole idea is
I'm trying to think of a good analogy.
The whole idea is to have zoning, kind of.
Correct. Yeah. In specific areas of the home, it's if you had one, you'd walk in that one room and it'd be either freezing or it'd be super hot, but the rest of your house, because the air wouldn't be flowing through there. So
I think most of them are at least 8, though, 6 or 8 units. I mean, that's a lot of rooms.
Right. Yeah, you can have multi-head units.
What's the most you can build? Like you can build where Mark was saying 6 to 8 heads on one unit? Wow.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's typical in all the Mitsubishi and pretty much all of them.
By the way, getting back to that insurance list, if you have a pit bull, if you have a pit bull, a shepherd, boxer, a Rottweiler, and then this other one, Australian cattle dog, I don't know what that is, but I would never thought of them as being aggressive. Then number 7 is a Cane Corso. Doberman Pinscher's number 8. Number 9 is a Mastiff. Now, you will never believe number 10 on the aggressive list. You'll never believe it.
Chihuahua.
A Labrador Retriever. A Labrador Retriever. A Labrador Retriever? Are you kidding me? So anyway, you can actually be surcharged for a Labrador Retriever. They're going through, the ranking is based on an analysis of dog bites from 2021 to 2023. They examine bite incidents, fatalities, vaccination rates, bite severity, and breed-specific information. The danger score combines all factors on a 0 to 100 factor. So that's what they did. So they took into consideration all of those things and came up with what was called a danger score. A danger score. Pit Bull, for example, had a 90. Shepherds have a 57. Boxers, 54. Rottweilers, 53.
You want to hear?
Yes.
So I found one that I guarantee is different because it's got to do with reported post office bites. But it almost follows exactly what you're saying. It goes Pit Bull, Rottweiler, German Shepherd. Yeah. Isn't that funny? But, and they're talking about postal workers that got bit.
But, that is incredible. I have never considered German Shepherds ever being aggressive. That is something that really does surprise me.
Well, a lot of them are trained to do exactly that, though, man. Junkyard dogs are, they're all German Shepherds. My God, man, back in the day, I think they'd feed them a little gunpowder and just let them roam at night. And if anybody jumped over the fence, they'd just eat them.
Okay, and somebody asked if I heard about that plane accident where the one guy survived, and said,
amazing.
And he said, do you think there's any truth to safe seats on airlines? Some seats being safer than others. You know what, Mark? There was a study done on that, and they did a lot of reenactments, of course, computer modeling. And you're absolutely right. They say when it comes to a crash, it's random. There are no seats that are automatically more safe than others. For absolutely sure, you cannot bargain on a safe seat. Some people were hell-bent on believing, now this is what people believe, that the seats over the wing area are the strongest because that's the strongest part of the fuselage, which, by the way, it is. It is the strongest part of the fuselage because of the structure it takes in the center of that fuselage or cabin to connect the wings. That is definitely the strongest. But that doesn't mean that the seats on top of that carry that strength, because the plane really buckles, and when it buckles, the cabin will fail all over the place. Other people, so number one, the number one area people believed was the safest is over the wing. The number two area.
I thought you were going to say first class and then business class.
Yeah.
I think towards the tail.
That's right. The dock number two. That's the number two area, the tail cone, that people believe is the safest. And by the way, there's good reason for that too. The tail cone seats are usually intact. That doesn't mean, however, that people live in it. But they've never done an actual statistic taking all the crashes into consideration. But according to computer modeling, there really is no safer seat than another.
And then let's not forget the different layouts. I mean, you could have the same Dreamliner, but depending on what airline owns it, it's a seat configuration and everything else. So, I mean, it's so different.
Absolutely. But as far as safety on an airline, they said, don't bother wasting your time. You know, get a seat that's comfortable. And then they also bring out that, of course, although we've been hearing a lot about airline incidents, and that's another thing I don't like about the media, and this brings it out too, the airline incidents are not related unless they are. And they're not. In other words, when they say the third incident in 3 months, what's big deal? Big deal. Unless those incidents are connected, what difference does it make that there were 3 of them in 3 months? If they're totally unrelated, they have nothing to do with each other. But the media is hell-bent on grouping things together. They group them together all the time, which is a misrepresentation of what's actually going on. If you have 3 different airline accidents or airline incidents, and one is like on a taxiway, another one is coming in for a landing, and another one is midair, and they have absolutely nothing to do with each other, even if they're all Boeing. That doesn't mean that Boeing did something wrong, or it doesn't mean that all of a sudden airlines are unsafe. Have you ever noticed that trend in the news where they group things together? They can group them together with SUVs. They can group them together for airplanes. They group them together for dogs. They group them together for any kind of news. The media loves grouping things together. But what would be more accurate is grouping them together for cause, not for what they are. And that thing has really skewed what people think about airlines, because now they're saying, oh, man, have you heard about all the airline incidents? Yet none of them are connected. That happened with helicopters, where you have a few helicopter accidents, all totally unrelated, nothing to do with each other. One would be pilot error. One would be maybe a rotor failure. Another one would be for another reason, weather related. And they say the third helicopter incident in 3 weeks. What difference does that make? What does that say to you? It makes it sound like, oh my God, something's happening in the world of helicopters, when really there is nothing happening. Just beware of that when you listen to media reports on how they group things together for that just happen to be in the same category, but it's not for the same cause. We have more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show. Yes.
Hey, real quick. Another example of that, though, you were talking about the golden retriever being on that bite list.
No,
I'm reading this article.
Yeah.
Well, this one's talking about golden retrievers. Here's the deal, man. They're on the list, and that's 6% of the total dog population, though. Meaning, per capita, the pit bull is actually way the hell less because there's not even, there's 20 times less pit bulls than there are golden retrievers. I never thought of it like that.
You're right. They should take that into consideration. Again, another example of how you can make stats read any way you want. 303-713-8255.
KHOW Denver, 630 KHOW, an iHeartRadio station. Download the free iHeartRadio app for
people by race and stuff. Yeah.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by the 47 Morning Update. Near downtown, we've got a crash reported East Alameda Avenue westbound between Santa Fe Drive and I-25. We're seeing some pretty stopped-up traffic back from Broadway on Alameda westbound. Does appear to be affecting traffic northbound Santa Fe as well. Northbound I-25, some normal slowdowns through the downtown area between Alameda and Colfax, adding about 5 minutes to your commute. No complaints on I-70 to DIA. With traffic, I'm Mark Swan.
If you voted for Donald Trump, then you've got to start your day with the 47 Morning Update with me, Ben Ferguson. All the headlines from Trump's Oval Office, it's quick, it's bold, and it's unfiltered. So download the 47 Morning Update now wherever you get your podcasts.
ZeroResDenver.com. That is the name of the website where you'll find Zero Res, the carpet cleaner that leaves nothing behind. No dirt, no pathogens, no allergens, and truly, they keep your carpets clean without any kind of residue behind, which means it picks up the residue from past cleanings as well. You will love Zero Res Denver. Your entire home will be cleaner, not just the carpets, because the indoor air quality improves. And carpets are your biggest air filter, and you want pure carpet cleaning. They also do tile and grout flat work. They can do laminates and hardwoods, tile and grout, as I said, upholstery, even mattresses. ZeroResDenver.com. Purified softened water, the best cleaning agent in nature. 303-471-5150.
Yep.
Thanks.
I spoke with Denver Housing.
Yeah.
Specifically designed for you. Trajan Wealth and our fiduciary advisors have helped thousands, and we can do the same for you. Call Trajan today at 720-405-3300. That's 720-405-3300.
Summers are beautiful in Colorado, so don't spend them painting. Do what your neighbor Tom did. He called Rhino Shield.
Our house was built in 1986, and the paint was starting to look a little worn. I decided I need to give Rhino Shield a call.
Rhino Shield ceramic technology is specifically formulated for our unique climate right here in Colorado, and is Class 1 fire rated.
The Rhino Shield crew was quite good, and the people were top-notch. I basically came home 2 days after they started it, and it was done.
Right now, Colorado, you can get the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 10% off the regular price.
Even now, when we're riding together, we come home like, man, that was great.
Thank you very much.
From friends that
Never been so happy.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Fat,
Flavor.
I'm never been this competitive.
317-4466. That's 844-31-RHINO or rhinoshieldco.com.
Yes.
I'm happy to tell you about the only real
I am good. I truly appreciate it. I'm just the cream.
Sometimes they drink it still.
What do you drink straight up?
I've never done that with cream. I love whole milk though.
Please ask about.
Whiskey and cream.
See that, Tom?
What's that?
What's that? The text that I think you're reading. That's from me.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. That was from a listener.
Variable refrigerant flow.
For a clue in cream. White Russian, right?
Caucasian. Anybody remember that from the Big Lebowski?
Russian have vodka too. Is that vodka clue in cream?
You guys remember Big Lebowski? There?
Yeah.
I love that show.
Because he's talking.
What show?
Because he's talking about White Russians. Oh my God! I went on a 3-year White Russian binge after that movie.
I've never had one.
Oh,
they're delicious.
You make a mean Caucasian, Jackie.
I love when he brings that fucking rug over to that guy's house.
Really ties the room together.
What show are you guys talking about?
The Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
Oh.
I do.
And then the guy, who's the guy from Roseanne, man? What's his name?
John Goodman.
John Goodman.
no.
Yeah, Jan.
My God, when he's at that bowling alley and wants to shoot that guy, that is one of the best scenes ever.
Awesome.
What a great movie.
Here you go.
400.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-8255. Let's talk to Gerald. Gerald, welcome to the show. What's going on with you, Gerald?
Well, I got a ticket this morning.
Yeah? And what do you need to know?
I had to go over and have a look at my car at the.
Were you in an accident? Were you in an accident?
Well, I didn't know it until I got the thing in the mail.
Wait a minute. You had an accident and you didn't know about it?
Oh, it was a small one where my mirror popped off, and they said I scraped the car of somebody behind me.
Well, if your mirror hit that car and fell off, chances are it did scratch it.
Now, Gerald, are they saying you took off without stopping? Is that what it's about?
They say I took off without stopping.
Okay. And so when did they say this happened?
Back in September.
And what do they want from you?
Let me get the damn thing.
Yeah, but what's the deal now? Where do we stand? Are they trying to shake you down or what, man?
Yeah, they're sending me to court.
How much? What are they looking for?
Yeah.
Careless driving, leaving the scene of the accident.
Okay.
Ooh.
Who's wrote you the letter?
You got to walk in there with the Biden excuse.
No, but who wrote you the letter?
That's why I need it. It was a city.
Yeah, it's criminal charges, Tom. He needs to walk in there and basically tell them, I don't remember it, and I didn't even know it happened.
I didn't until I got the thing in the mail.
That's why I'm saying that.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't even know about it,
well, that's why I need a lawyer.
Okay. Are they suing you? Or is this the city? And what are they asking for? Are they asking for money? What are they asking for?
He's got a court date for those two items. He needs to go to court for the police.
But no one is coming after you civilly for damages.
I got this thing in the mail and says they want to look at my car, which is the first time I ever knew about it.
Okay. When you looked at your car, is there damage on your car?
Yeah, is the mirror missing?
Yeah, there was damage on my car. I didn't know about it until I got this thing in the mail.
You didn't even notice that there was damage.
No, that's on the left side.
The left side is where you look all the time. It's where you approach your car to get in.
I mean the right side.
Okay.
The right side.
Gerald, how old are you?
Because it was hit there before about 3-4 years ago.
How old are you, Gerald?
82.
Okay. Is it possible you just need to stop driving right now?
Are we going through this again?
No, I'm just asking, is it possible that maybe you shouldn't be driving anymore? I'm just asking. I'm not trying to be a smart ass.
No.
It isn't possible. Okay. You're going to have to go to court and they're going to fine you, Gerald. I mean,
I'd call Joe Lazzara. There's your answer, Joe Lazzara.
Yeah, you're looking for a...
That's what I called again.
Okay, I'm going to give you the number. You ready to take it down?
And he's good, man.
Yeah. Go call Joe right now and ask him about it, because you do need a criminal defense attorney. His name is Joe. His number is 303-429-6200. Okay? I think he's got it.
I just got the 303. What's the rest of it?
Oh, Jesus. 429-303-429 6200. Hey, Kachina, could you get him and give that to him off the air? Just give it to him off the air. Gerald, thank you for calling. I appreciate it. He needs Joe Lazzara's
if you can
number.
have if you can have top classified documents locked up in your old garage, you can easily get into an accident and not know it happened until you get a notice on it.
You know, this is a question. There's a minimum age for running for president. Should there be a maximum age? No, I'm serious about that. Now, someone wants to know about a variable refrigerant flow multi-zone air conditioning system. That really is the definition of a mini split. I mean, if you think about it, variable refrigerant flow, that's exactly what they do, right?
Is it a heat pump?
It's both heat pump and air conditioning. Okay. But somebody's asking about a VRF system. And when I looked it up, it said it was basically a head unit placed in several rooms with the condenser and all the other stuff outside. I mean, that's really the definition. A variable refrigerant flow simply means it sends it where it's needed, right? I mean, I don't know if somebody was trying to...
That is all. I think that's all mini splits. Each room, you can set the temp to whatever you want.
Right. That's exactly what it is. And
that's the whole damn purpose.
Yeah. So whoever was asking about that, that's what we've been talking about the whole time, is basically a variable flow of refrigerant to different rooms based on what that room needs. And
Bob, aren't they like the most oh, we got to go. Hold on.
All right, let's take this break.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Near downtown, we've got a crash reported East Alameda Avenue westbound between Santa Fe Drive and I-25. We're seeing some pretty stopped up traffic back from Broadway on Alameda westbound. Does appear to be affecting traffic northbound Santa Fe as well. Northbound I-25, some normal slowdowns through the downtown area between Alameda and Colfax, adding about 5 minutes to your commute. No complaints on I-70 to DIA. With traffic, I'm Mark Swan.
Guess what? Discover's accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. You heard right, 99%. If you don't think so, maybe it's time to face facts. You're stuck in the past. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report, learn more at discover.com/creditcard.
Hey, if you need a personal injury attorney, John Fuller can help you. You know, if you're in an accident and you have questions, call him. He'll go over your options, what you should do, what you should not do, and what you can expect. And he's one of the only attorneys that talk to you before you ever hire him. Just ask to talk to him when you call 303-597-4500. You don't have to sign up. You don't have to do anything. Just call him 303-597-4500. He'll give you much useful information. If you do hire him, it's on a percentage fee basis. That's John Fuller and 303-597-4500. American Financing. They're partnering with me to get you out of high interest debt. Here's our message. If you have accumulated credit card debt, you are really wasting money. When you get a smart equity loan for that portion of debt to pay it off, your credit immediately improves. You save hundreds of dollars a month, and you're on your way to financial freedom. That's because high interest benefits no one except the creditor. So go to American Financing and ask about the smart equity loan. Get rid of those high payments and start your road to financial recovery. 303-695-7000. 695-7000. If you need a full refi, they can do that too, where you need to maybe pull cash out. You need to talk to our friends, AmericanFinancing.net.
Thank you.
NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Now there's Kitchen done right. Over the decades, our family business has completed thousands of kitchen update projects in Colorado. Why have you been so fortunate to do so well over the years? Folks, the answer is simple. Quality people, quality materials, our own unique quarter-inch resurfacing makeover process, handcrafted replacement cabinets that'll knock your socks off, and beautiful custom-built countertops, all done right. Dad, is this a good time of year for the folks to have us out to take a look at the possibilities for their home? Well, yeah. Great cash incentives or a special financing rate of 0% APR with 48 equal monthly payments for your credit and free estimates. Now is an excellent time. Call for details. Done right kitchens, done right baths, counters, floors, done right finished basements, and done right windows and doors. We have our Wordle feature rated done right 303-722-2295 or sign up for your free in-home cost quote at drhi.com.
Regen Revolution has helped me so much in terms of getting mobile and active again, and now they'll be helping me and you at their new location near Old Town in Arvada. It's an expanded facility, so an even better version of the great care you've come to know from Regen Revolution. The combination of regenerative medicine and more traditional treatment modalities has gotten me back to being able to play sports and exercise in ways I thought I might never do again. Learn more at regenmed.com.
Thanks to Dragon, I get 10 hours of overtime.
Good job. Well played.
Buy myself something nice.
Hell with that. I'd go to Golden Corral a couple times.
Golden Corral.
I should do the corral. But sleeping sounds nice too.
Yeah, it does. I wish I had that.
A little pants-free cigar action and pass out.
There you go.
Damn. All right, well, this was fun.
Are we done?
Yeah.
Later.
Well, you got a minute coming back here.
Well, we got a minute. I'm going to say goodbye to Bob.
Oh, my God. Well,
bye, Bob.
Doesn't have to be like some long, drawn-out death scene.
You don't have to be mean about it.
Why? You know, this isn't. And tell her to keep the farm, no matter what. Oh God, just
later, Gator.
Wrap it up.
What did you have? Bob, you have any special you want to throw out real quick?
Buy an air conditioner, get a matching furnace.
Okay.
Free,
All right, let's do that.
And up to $9,000 in federal and XL rebates.
Okay, you're gonna have to.
Here you go. About 90 seconds with you guys.
All right.
Here you go.
Hi, Tom Martino here. And for those who've stayed to the bitter end, you know what? It's going to pay for itself. You know, we talked about replacing the furnace when you do the AC. Bob's going to make it really easy at Plumline Services. What do you have, Bob?
Yeah, right now, regardless of what system you buy, when you buy an air conditioning unit, we will give you the matching furnace for free. We'll ask you to pay for the labor, but you get the furnace for free. And then on top of that, XL has some tremendous rebates, and so does the federal government. And so when you throw all those together, you can just save a tremendous amount of money.
Like how much? Like thousands?
Well, the rebates, federal and XL combined, are up to $9,000.
Are you kidding me? Just for getting high efficiency?
Just the rebates, correct. And of course, the value of the furnace, could be $2,000, $2,500 on top of that. So
you get a free matching furnace when you buy the AC.
Correct.
And
That's
you get the rebates.
deal.
I get it. Plus, you get the rebates.
And then XL and federal rebates go along on top of that, depending on what you buy.
That's plumlineservices.com. Plumlineservices.com. 303-586-1086. I'm Tom Martino. We have more coming up tomorrow. I want you to join us. Make sure you call 303-MARTINO for help, information, and referrals, and we'll get you in the next show, 303-MARTINO. Hey, Shannon.
I love you. Bye.
Will you wait?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any time to do what we
I'm
talk?
with you.
So what should I do? Disconnect and call you?
No. No.
Okay.
No, go ahead and stay on. And unless
right.
you want to. No, go ahead and stay on because I'll get you on 760 in a few minutes, okay?
All right, thanks. All right.
Thanks, man.
I'll stay on.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I'm doing some.
I'll get out of your hair here.
Oh, it's okay. I'm just doing experimenting with my codec here to keep it from locking up like it did.
Oh.
And I'm going to, just.
So I'll let you know on that